What's up, guys? This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. Quite frankly and literally, it is this: Black Panther. All right, now Black Panther has been in the news for the last week at least, since it's been confirmed that Black Panther will be up for Best Picture at this year's Academy Awards. Now, of course, this has caused a lot of controversy, but before I get into anything else, I want to say, before I go any further, congratulations to Ryan Coogler, cast and crew of Black Panther. I know that this is probably an exciting time. I love to see your smiling faces and everything. I can tell you're very proud, you're very happy, you're very honored. And I wish you all the best. You know, I don't want to take anything from you. It's your time, man. So all of you guys, enjoy it and bask in it. And I know you take it all very, very seriously. And, you know, I couldn't be happier for you. It's just unfortunate that your film is being used the way it is by Hollywood right now, by the Academy, you know, by people who want to jump on to your bandwagon and use it to wave their flag, their virtue signaling flag, their SJW flag, to be able to sit there and lord over everybody else and show them and show the whole world how woke they are. You know, it's a shame because I really don't like talking about this way, which is the reason why I really haven't gotten into this in the last week and a half or so since the news broke. You know, because I don't want to take away, I don't want to seem like, you know, I'm being negative or anti anything, because I'm not. I love Black Panther, man. I love it, and I love sharing it with my son. And I do believe that it holds a very, very special place in the Black community, because the Black community is very, very starved for positive images. And I'll get more into that a little bit later. But yeah, so I know that it's culturally significant and relevant, and I know that everyone involved with Black Panther, it seems, took that very, very seriously. Not the least of which was Stan Lee. I am going to leave an interview in the description box from Stan Lee talking about how he felt about Black Panther and why he anticipated it so much, and it was his favorite MCU film that he was anticipating. I'm not making that up. That's what he says. The video will be in the description box. But anyway, like I said, it just breaks my heart to see what's happening here, because what I feel is that Black Panther for sure deserves an NAACP Image Award. Now, that's a award that the NAACP, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, have, you know, for film and literature and, you know, real life people that they feel could be role models, you know, for the Black community, and after that, the world. Why not? You know, so for sure, you know, Black Panther is very important, so I would like to see it that way. But with the Oscars, I just feel like there's this thing, man, and like I said, it's unfortunate, it's painful to think, because what they're doing is they're taking an average MCU film and they're elevating it to the point where it's almost embarrassing, you know what I mean? Because I love to see the Academy step up to excellence. But to me, what I see them doing is stepping down. And that's not to take away from the film. Like I said, I think the film is great. But what I see the Academy doing is I see the Academy using this to answer what was a couple of years ago, the hashtag Oscars so white thing that was going on. So it seems to me like they're just throwing this out there to say, well, here you are. We're going to make history by doing this. And at the same time, we're going to bring in some viewers. We're going to shut up the critics. And it seems to me that it's about everything but the film. You know, so, and I don't like that, because I'm very, very proud of the film. I think the film did wonderful things, you know, for our culture and things like that. You know, I pay attention, man. Just yesterday, my son and I went to go see The Kid Who Would Be King. All right, and enjoyed that movie, by the way. You know, very good movie. I would probably give it about 1 flush, you know, on my meter. But, you know, I'll talk about that on another video. But the point is, when we were coming out from the movie theater, I couldn't help but notice a father who was coming out with his son, who was wearing a Black Panther hoodie. Now, it just so happened that the father and his son were both white. You know, one of those toxic white males, one of those racist white males. You know, he was coming out with his son wearing a Black Panther hoodie. And I just kind of smiled to myself, because, you know, it's not a big thing for the kids or anything like that. It's just for older people, you know, for adults and everything. It kind of makes it a little bit more simple. You know, the kids enjoyed the movie. You know, the kids for whatever reason, just like any other superhero. Either it will talk to them or speak to them, or it won't. So, I thought that was great. I saw that. And also, this morning, my son, when he woke up, I had the news on, even though I hate watching the news. But, for me, usually it's because primarily I want to see what the weather forecast is going to be. And they just happened to mention that Black Panther won the SAG Award for, I think it was Best Ensemble or Best Picture or something like that. And my son got very happy. He said, "Dad, Black Panther won." My son doesn't even know what the SAG Award is. He doesn't know what it stands for. He knows nothing about it. He just knows that Black Panther won something, and it made him happy. One thing I can tell you for sure is he would have said the exact same thing if Avengers Infinity War had won something. He would have said, "Dad, Avengers Infinity War won the award," or Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse won the award, or even Ant-Man won the award. These are movies that he loved, so why not? So it just reminds me not to be so bogged down in how I see things. Of course, I see the virtue signaling. Of course, I see the SJW bullshit. You know what I mean? But then I look to my son and I look to that little boy yesterday who was wearing the hoodie and everything. And I think to myself, I don't want to be that guy. You know what I mean? It's like I pride myself on still being very much in touch with my childhood, with the kid that I was, with the young man that I was, with the middle-aged man that I am, and things like that. I'm still that guy, man. So I don't want to be, and I don't want to grow into that grumpy old man who just can't see the moment because he's seeing behind the scenes too much. You know what I mean? When I was a kid, they used to, sometimes run those behind the scenes Star Wars shows where they showed you the magic of Star Wars and what they did. And I never wanted to see those things, man. It's like I never wanted to know how they did things, It just, to me, my experience started and stopped on the screen or the books or the comics or whatever. It's like I don't need to see behind the scenes. So with this, it's like I know, unfortunately, what Black Panther is. I know what the hype train is, but my son and that little boy, who was there at the movie theater, just reminded me of how to look around this thing. You know what I mean? How not to get bogged down in the negativity of it. Also, when I took my son to see the Marvel Universe Live last year, I took him to see Marvel Universe Live. And I remember talking on video before how I just was giddy at the fact that Black Panther came out. And this was like right around the time Black Panther actually came out in the movies. So Black Panther came out onto the stage and the whole stadium went wild. Now, like 5 years ago, nobody would give a damn who Black Panther is. No one would really know him. But the movie did such a good job of bringing him to the screen. I just love the fact that all of these kids from all different walks of life cheered so much. I think Black Panther got the third loudest ovation after Spider-Man and the Hulk. And maybe Groot. All the kids love Groot and Rocket. But, yeah, so I look at things like that, and I really want to make it a point to keep it positive, man. It's a tough one. It's a tough one because it's a tough pill to swallow for those of us who are fans of Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy, for those of us who loved Avengers Infinity War last year, to see the hype train, man, with Black Panther, it's a bitter pill to swallow. And then I heard something about Black Panther also got an award for ensemble stunts or something like that. There were no stunts in Black Panther. It was all CGI. At this point, look, the cast of Black Panther, like I said before, all of you guys are ultra talented. You're very, very smart. You see what's going on here. Now, I don't expect you to give it back. It's almost like me. If someone said, "Oh, the Gospel According to Mark with a C, you know what? We're going to give his channel YouTuber of the Year." I'll be like, deep down, that's some bullshit. It's like I enjoy what I do, and I know there are people out there who enjoy what I do, but let's face it, I'm a guy who works super, super duper full-time, overtime, and all that good stuff, and I just come home and I make some videos, you know what I mean? There are guys out here who are much more comprehensive, who work a lot harder, who put in many, many more hours editing and stuff like that. I would probably still accept the award, but deep down inside, I would know that's some bullshit, man. You know what I mean? Maybe one day, when I have a little bit more time, like I said before. But right now, no. So, for the cast and crew of Black Panther, I do understand that you're not going to say, "Look, we don't want this, give it back." You know what I mean? But At the same time, I was watching, Chadwick Boseman's acceptance speech for Black Panther. I think they won, like I said, the SAG award or whatever. And it was great, you know, it was very nice. You know, they're very attractive cast, man. It's like I love seeing them, you know, just looking great and happy and, you know, and all that stuff. But he went on to say a few things. Of course, he thanked Kevin Feige. You know, he thanked, the fans. Did he thank the fans? I don't know. But he talked about, I think he mentioned how much money the movie made a couple of times. He just happened to let it slide. It wasn't like he was bragging or whatever, but he just put it out there. It made over $1 billion worldwide. And then he went on to talk about to be young, gifted, and black. And, something, of course, I know about. But anyway, he talked about this, and he talked about how it felt to be told that you don't have a place in Hollywood and all this stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute now, Chadwick, you have played James Brown. You played Thurgood Marshall. You played Jackie Robinson. You played King T'Challa. You know, it's like, exactly at what point did you get a door slammed in your face, Chadwick? You're coming across a little disingenuous. You look at his castmates, the lovely, ultra sultry, sexy, dark chocolate Lupita Nyong'o. She won an Oscar on her first role on 12 Years a Slave. She won Best Supporting Actress. You know, so it's like, when exactly did she get the door slammed in her face? When exactly did Michael B. Jordan get the door slammed in his face? Denai Guerrera, Daniel Kaluuya, Forrest Whitaker, Angela Bassett, all these people are very, very well employed, man. It's like I said, they're very talented, and their talent speaks for them. So my thing would be, if your message is going to be anything, it would be the best that you could be, be at the top of your game. And, things will happen for you, whether you get the Oscar or not. So I'm just looking at that. Plus, I would be dishonest if I said to you that it didn't turn me off at one point while watching his acceptance speech. I kept waiting for him to do one thing that he didn't do. Now, I'm sure he's done it on other occasions. If he did it that night, please, somebody let me know. I could be wrong. But in this clip that I saw of his acceptance speech at the SAG Awards, one thing I was waiting for him to do that he did not do was thank Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. That actually hurt me, because I'm riding with these people, man. It's like I want to be there for them. It's like I said, I congratulate them and everything. I want to be positive, but I did not like the fact that he didn't thank Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Like, there was no round of applause for these men, both of who have passed on. Stan Lee most recently, especially in the face of Bill Maher and everything that he's talking about. It would have been a great moment of triumph. Like I said, I have the clip of Stan Lee talking about how much Black Panther meant to him. And it told me a couple of things about Chadwick Boseman, who I respect very much. But I do believe that he might have a little disconnect with what he's doing in terms of the comic book scene, and the legacy that he is representing by playing a Marvel character. Like I said, it's one thing to be claiming this movie as a great moment in history for Black Americans and Afro-Americans and Africans and Wakandans, whatever you want. But at the same time, please don't overlook the culture that you came from, because there are plenty of people out there, like the little boy that I was talking about yesterday. He's young, gifted, and white, and I know what you guys are talking about. You want to represent black excellence and things like that. I do understand that, and I understand the importance of it. But at the same time, you didn't just start history today. It's like you stand on the shoulders of some true greats. Stan Lee and Jack Kirby are two of them, because none of this would be possible without them. But then you also stand on the shoulders of Wesley Snipes. You also stand on the shoulders of Jim Kelly. You also stand on the shoulders of Samuel Jackson, Sidney Poitier for sure, Nichelle Nichols. There are so many people out there who broke down these particular barriers and walls that you guys are claiming that you're just doing now. So I just want people to understand that history is unfolding every single day, and all of us came from somewhere. So nothing is starting today. You can't believe, and I don't want you buying into the SJW narrative that's saying that humanity has been no good up until now. A lot of people have struggled and actually paid the ultimate price for us to be in this moment in history right now. So we should take pride in the fact that we have progressed and we are progressing. And that's the point that I'm trying to make. So for Black Panther, like I said, I am happy that it's being acknowledged. I'm being happy that it's being acknowledged for the culture. And I think that it's unfortunate that a backlash has been established here because they're going so far overboard on the hype train. It's bringing out a lot of ugliness in people. And I have to say this too, guys. My mom and my pops raised me to not point out racism around every corner. I'm not like that type of ambulance chaser. But I can tell you with my own eyes, I've seen a lot of people pushing back against Black Panther now more than ever because of the overhyping of this movie. I've seen a lot of, racial slurs. I heard somebody say that the cast of Black Panther wants something for nothing, and it doesn't surprise them because most black people are lazy. And that hurt me to my heart because whenever I hear people say that, I think about my grandfather, the World War II veteran, who died in a VA hospital, which broke my heart, because our veterans deserve so much better than that. When I went to go see him in the VA hospital, I couldn't believe how we treat our veterans, white, black, or anything else. So I think of my grandfather, I think of my brother, who should be here today, but has passed away, and I miss him very, very much. He went to work on his very, very last day on Earth to try to help somebody, and he was a very, very active police officer, by the way. The commissioner spoke at his funeral, and we had a couple of people come up to us and give us stories about how my brother helped them, and I don't have much patience for people who do that, for people who would use the overhyping of Black Panther to talk about how black people are lazy and how, it's just disgusting. You know what I mean? So the whole thing is kind of out of control on so many different levels. The overhyping is over here. I hope that if Black Panther loses, I hope there won't be people who are, just going overboard talking about the Racist Academy and stuff like that. I think it's a win that it was nominated. And for our genre, for our comic book genre, for our MCU, I think this is a good thing. I think it's good that it was acknowledged. And hopefully we can get past this virtue signaling and this SJWism to start really recognizing our genre as having artistic integrity on its own merits, without Hollywood getting in and mixing its own interests and self-interest and arrogance into it. But it's a very, very fine line to walk, because while you want to point that out, you don't want to take away from the kids, who are loving this moment. You don't want to take away from the cast and crew and the people who are producing these films and everything. So it's a tough one, man. Now that it's been nominated, I just say good luck. But it's a lot, man. It's a lot to consider. So guys, thank you for listening to me ramble on, but like I said, I didn't get in front of the camera for a reason, for a while, because I just have so many different feelings about this. But guys, you are more than welcome to share your feelings in the comment section. Of course, I welcome and respect them. All I ask is that you respect mine, and I appreciate that, guys. If you feel the need to like, share, and subscribe, I certainly appreciate it. And that's it for me. That's all I got right now. And I will see you in the next one. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.